St. Laurence, Archbishop of Canterbury, 619, Cantuariae, Anglia. St. Laurence was a Roman, and a disciple of St. Gregory the Great, by whom he was sent into England, along with Blessed Augustine, to preach the gospel. Along with Augustine he gave himself to prayer and preaching, and by the holiness of his life and manner, and by his miracles, he converted to Christ King Ethelbert and a great part of his people. After Augustine was made Archbishop of Canterbury, he sent Laurence to Rome to give Blessed Gregory news as to the state of the newborn Church of England, and to obtain fresh supplies from him. He returned in a short space, bringing with him the answers of the Supreme Pontiff to the questions of Blessed Augustine, holy vessels, books, vestments, relics of the holy apostles and martyrs, and diverse fellow workers and ministers of the Word, among whom the first and chief were those men of eminent holiness, Mellitus, Justus, Paulinus, and Ruthenian, of whom Mellitus was afterwards made first Bishop of London, Justus of Rochester, Paulinus of York, and Ruthenian abbot of the monastery of the holy apostles Peter and Paul outside the walls of Canterbury. When the blessed Augustine found himself drawing nigh to the kingdom of heaven, he ordained Laurence as his successor, lest upon his death the Church in her tender state should suffer if she were left without the care of a shepherd. As soon as Laurence entered upon the archbishopric, he made it his care to strengthen with all his power the foundations of the Church, which he saw so nobly laid, and by frequent exhortation and constant ensample of godly labor to carry on the structure to the height proven. He bore not the care only of the new Church, which had been formed out of the English, but was heedful to extend his watchfulness as a shepherd to the nations of the old inhabitants of Britain and of the Scots who dwelt in Ireland, to bring them to the due and canonical observance of the feast of Easter, and to conformity of life and manners with the Church rules in all other matters. After the death of holy King Ethelbert, his son and successor, Eadbald, not only refused to embrace the Christian faith, but also contracted an incestuous marriage with his own stepmother, and many thence took occasion either to renounce the faith which they had already received or to become unstable therein. Laurence took counsel with his fellow bishops and thought to abandon England, but the blessed Prince of the Apostles appeared to him in a dream and corrected him, and he so took to heart his words and stripes that he not only remained at his own church, but also brought the king to the faith, and to a life meet for the faith. From that time forward Laurence enjoyed great peace, and after he had ministered to the Church of Canterbury for about 15 years, he entered the kingdom of heaven in the year 619, upon the 2nd day of February, upon the which day mention is made of him in the Roman Martyrology. He was buried beside his predecessor, in the porch of the church of the monastery of the holy apostles Peter and Paul, and Mellitus succeeded to him. Amen.